Today is Friday, December the 4th. It is morning in Los Angeles and it's morning in America. I am your host, Casey Phoenix, and this is my morning political thought. This will actually be pretty short today. I'm not doing a long one today. But before I go into my morning political thought, I have to put this out here. I told you. See what I said last week. For those who are new, you can check my episodes last week. For those who have been listening to the podcast, I said last week, I was like, I feel like something is going to happen. I feel like all hell's going to break loose in the next 2 weeks. I said, starting from this past Monday through this week and then next week. And then sure enough, it was a slow build with everything that was happening. And the Arizona hearings, the Michigan hearings, and then the thing where the dam has now burst. And that was the video of the people in the State Farm Center, or whatever the center was, convention center, taking ballots out of suitcases. The ballots were in the suitcases hidden under the table, and it was caught on camera. And then when they told the Republican poll challengers to go home, we're going to stop counting for the night, some of the workers stayed behind on camera, pulled the suitcases out, pulled out the ballots, and started counting ballots. And then about 1 a.m. in the morning, when the Republican poll challengers heard that, oh, they're still counting, they came back. That's when they stopped counting. But from it was, I think, 11 a.m. to 1 a.m., a few people were counting ballots that came from suitcases that were hidden under the table for that time period with no one supervising. So I called it. And now Governor Kemp wants to say, oh, well, yeah, I guess we need to do signature verification. The Trump campaign asked for signature verification 5 times. You're a day late and a dollar short. But I mean, what else could he do after this videotape? So now that the videotape has been shown, everybody's like, wait, what? So yeah, that's what I told you. I called it. I said I have a feeling all hell is going to break loose over the next 2 weeks. And now that this has happened, this is just the beginning. So yeah. But anyways, let me go ahead and get into my morning political thought. Because like I said, I don't have much time. And 2, I'll go ahead and make this brief. I made a loaded statement yesterday. And I need to at least explain a little bit more with that statement when I was talking about war. First of all, I'm very extreme when it comes to war. It's either one or the other. There's not really an in-between with me personally. My default extreme when it comes to war is I hate war. I despise war. I believe in exhausting all options, all diplomatic options on the table. That is me personally. That's just what I believe. I believe that we've evolved enough to a certain degree where things can be settled without it becoming physical, kinetic, stuff of that nature. However, when all options have been exhausted, I'm the other extreme. I don't believe in mercy. I don't believe in quarter. The only thing I believe in is annihilation. That way you never have the issue again. I don't believe in, oh, well, we'll fire a few missiles here and do a little bit of this and no, I believe in wiping everything out and being done with it. So you don't have to worry about the issue again. But my default position on war is to avoid it at all costs. War has too many effects on people. However, when it comes to wars, the sacrifice in wars, you can't compare the sacrifices. You can compare the wars, but you can't compare the sacrifices. If someone died in the Korean War or the Vietnam War or the Iraq War or the Afghanistan War or the World War or the Civil War, take your pick your poison. All of those sacrifices, all of those men and women who put their lives on the line and they died, you can't compare that, because a sacrifice is almost like with the voting thing, where we were talking about the Dominion software and how it does decimals where a vote might count as zero point 0.7 or 1.3 and all this other stuff, when really a vote should count as one vote. A sacrifice is a sacrifice. It doesn't matter what war it was in. Now, as for the wars themselves, other wars have different stakes. And when it comes to some of the wars that we fought recently, they're related to terrorism, but America itself, the geographic location of America, would more than likely still stand if we found other ways to deal with quote unquote fighting terrorism in the Middle East by sending our troops to die in the Middle East. I feel that there are other options that should have been on the table. Now, let's go back to World War II. That was different. And this is what I was talking about with my comment. Everyone had the mindset during World War II that, hey, we have to get together. We have to handle this. We can't fight among ourselves, and we can't be what I'm looking for, groupthink. But at the same time, we have to realize that it's about saving the Republic. And it focusing on saving the Republic and saving the geographical location of the United States forces you to not focus on things that have things that aren't really relevant, things that aren't that serious, that if you had the time to focus on it, you might be like, oh my goodness, that's so serious. But you can't, because you might actually lose the location of your country. During World War II, if we would have lost World War II, it's almost, what is the name of that show that's on Amazon? I think it's the Man in High Castle, White Castle, something like that. I don't know what it is. I haven't watched it in forever. But that thing where Japan had the West Coast and I think Germany had the East Coast, there may have been something like that. That's why it was so serious. We barely won World War II, for those who may not know history. Because if we had not partnered with Russia at all, and actually one of the worst dictators in history, Stalin, because FDR had to go to Stalin. FDR and Churchill had to go to Stalin because Hitler and Stalin had to deal. And not to get too deep into the history, but I'm just giving you some background. Hitler and Stalin had a deal that, hey, I'm not going to attack you. You're not going to attack me. You do your thing. I'll do my thing. And that's it. So Germany was running through Europe doing what it does. Well, obviously, Germany was conquering everything in Europe. Hitler got greedy and then decided, you know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and attack Russia. So then Germany and Russia get locked in this war during the World War II. In the midst of that, Germany was also fighting, there were still countries in Europe fighting, but Germany was still trying to keep that under control, because once you occupy land, you have to keep the land under control. That's the other thing about having an empire. You have to, after you acquire the land, you have to keep it under control. So you had that going on. Then you had Japan. Japan had bombed Pearl Harbor. Pearl Harbor was phase one. Japan, because the thing with Japan is that Japan was getting oil from the United States. The United States said, hey, we're not going to give you any more oil. So Japan went and started attacking other islands to get oil from other islands. But once that was done and Japan was doing that part, it went to go after Pearl Harbor. Pearl Harbor, if Japan had taken Pearl Harbor or Hawaii, that would have been the launching point for Japan to do its land invasion on in California for America, and then start attacking California to acquire the land. And with Germany, some people don't know this, we were attacked on the East Coast during World War II. They rarely talk about it in history, but the actual land itself wasn't attacked, but the boats were. And there were German U-boats that were attacking cargo ships that were coming into the East Coast. It was around North Carolina, Virginia area is where it was at. There are actually ships that were sunk in that area that have been found because there were attacks by the German U-boats. Also, there was a German terrorist group that made it to land as well. And the terrorist group was captured and killed, and those documents were later declassified. But the thing at stake during World War II was the actual physical geographical location of the United States. As in, if you're in the United States right now, it could have been a possibility that a foreign country would have been bombing your home or coming through the streets of your area at that time. And all the people in America realized that. And because they realized that, they were focusing on, hey, we have to save this republic. We have to keep people out of America. We have to make sure that we win this war. We can't focus on things that don't matter right now. And that, for the time being, brought America together, where all the little things, it just wasn't that big of a deal anymore. And that's what I was talking about yesterday. And the way I'm looking at it is, if people don't have faith in our election system, if the republic falls, we're going to be at war anyway. I don't think people get that. If the United States falls, we're going to be at war anyway. And then the question becomes, who will save the United States? Because right now, I can't think of a country that can do it. I can't think of a country that can swoop in and say, hey, and even if some countries, because I know they say, oh, well, what about NATO and what about the UN and all this other stuff? All of these other countries, they're very passive countries. And when it comes to conflicts, when it comes to resolving issues, the United States, for better or for worse, because sometimes some things are driven by greed, because obviously with war comes money. But also, there are things in play where you can actually help a country that's having issues. And for better or for worse, when something goes left in the world, the United States is usually one of the first countries, if not the first country, to stand up and say, hey, we'll go ahead, we'll help, we'll send our troops, we'll do this, we'll do that, we'll send money, we'll send supplies, we'll send whatever, because we have the economy. We have the largest economy in the world. We have the economy. We have all the resources to help. So if we can help, we'll go ahead and help. If the republic falls, the resources go with it. So we would be at war anyway. And that's kind of my thinking, how I'm seeing things. Like I said, this election isn't even about President Trump. Presidents come and go. Presidents come and go. It's about the republic. It's about the United States of America. And if we can't trust it and people stop voting, and then nefarious forces seep into the government, which some already have, and then push forward ideas that will not uplift the government but tear it down, and everything falls. That's it. So that's what I'm talking about. But that's all I have. And this is, this is just a little brief look into my war thing. I could do a whole history lesson because I know World War II pretty well because I studied it a lot. But yeah, and it's very interesting. If you ever get a chance to study World War II, check it out. There's a lot of interesting things that happen from where with Mussolini used to be a pacifist as well, believe it or not. Hitler was also, he didn't even want to become a politician. He wasn't even about war. And Hitler was could have died, I want to say like 4 or 5 times. One British soldier had the opportunity to kill Hitler before he became Hitler. And he didn't. He just walked away. There are so many things with World War II, so many interesting things, you'd be shocked. But yeah, that's all I have. ThePurpleElephantShow.com, main podcasting platform. The Purple Elephant Show on Instagram. Now we've been uploading on IGTV. And if you're watching this on YouTube, BitChute, I love BitChute, or Daily Motion. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And, oh yeah, I think I said Parler, The Purple Elephant Show on Parler, the free speech platform. And that's all I have. Thank you guys for your support. Until next time, be blessed.